Hey everybody, Sean here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in the Alien DLC for Dead by Daylight, going for the Disarm and Dismember achievement. This is going to be done from the killer side. It is to hit a survivor who is going to be carrying a special item a total of 50 times. Now, there's going to be a little over a half dozen or so special items in the game that are going to count for this achievement. So while trying to grind this out, you are going to want to consider a special item that the survivors are willing to pick up and then also hold on to. So with that in mind, we're going to skip explaining all of the different types of special items and just cut to the one we're going to use to grind out our 50 the quickest, which is going to basically involve us just playing as the mastermind, aka Wesker. So make sure you take him with you into a game. Whenever playing as Wesker, you are going to have the special item on the map be the first aid spray, and basically the first aid spray is going to be sprinkled around in these special chests. The survivors can open them up and then grab them, and they would use them to cure the Ouroboros infection that you can place on them. Now, for the purposes of this achievement, we are going to want them to pick up the first aid spray and not use them. So make sure you go into this not infecting any of the survivors and hope that one of them opens up the chest through their own volition and grabs a first aid spray. Once you do notice someone holding a first aid spray, make sure you try to hit them. Every time you hit them, you're going to get a count for the achievement. You do not have to down them. Any basic hit that is going to take them down one health state is going to count for this. So as long as you attack and damage them, that's going to be what counts if they are holding a special item. Now, obviously, whether or not a survivor is holding a special item is going to be out of your control, unfortunately. The cool thing with the first aid spray is it has two uses out of it. So if you do have to force a survivor to pick up a special item, you can infect someone once. Make sure you follow them around, and then hopefully they open up a chest, grab a first aid spray, and remove their infection. So even if they get away from you after that first use of the first aid spray, they should still have the item on them. And that way, if you happen to run across them again, you can start working on the achievement by attacking them further. So long story short, the first aid spray is going to be the best candidate to work on this because it's going to have the best odds of having a survivor pick it up. And it's also going to have the best odds of the survivor holding on to it. The other cool thing about the first aid spray is the survivor is not going to drop it if you do down them with it. Any survivor who picks themselves back up from the dying state is going to keep the first aid spray that they are currently holding. Now, the cool thing about this achievement is you can actually hit the same survivor multiple times, and each time you hit them while they're carrying a special item is going to count for it. So what you can do if you are just strictly focused on going for this achievement and nothing else is you can find a survivor who's carrying a special item, make sure you hit them, and then make sure you down them. You're going to want to try to have them get back up to their feet so you can have a teammate come in and then try to pick them up, or you can pick them up and then try to have them wiggle out, or you can just pick them up and then constantly drop them until they are forced back onto their feet. As soon as they are forced back to their feet, make sure you quickly try to down them again while they're still holding the item. Hopefully they don't drop it manually. And if you want to, you can keep this up for the entirety of the game, just constantly re-downing them every time they get back up to their feet. And as long as they're carrying that special item, each time you hit them is going to count for the achievement. So if you have no other obligations that you have to commit to during the course of the particular game, you can pretty much get the most hits that you can possibly get just on the same person over and over. Thankfully, this is going to be a cumulative achievement, so if you can't finish it in a single game, you can carry your progress over to the next game, and so on and so forth. So just make sure you keep this up, make sure you keep an eye out for anyone who has one of the special items in their hand, and just make sure you keep up this cycle over and over until you get your 50. It is going to be a pretty grindy achievement, but this is going to be the best way of cutting down on the grind, as it is going to be an achievement that generally revolves outside of your own agency, so might as well have a little bit of control over it. Nonetheless, once you do get that 50th hit on a special item holding person, you should be good for your achievement then and there. There it is, it's going to be for 40 gamer score, and that's all there is to it.